digital revolution continues to spread in South Africa's townships, with affordable fibre and Wi-Fi empowering SMEs. While improved internet access fuels growth, infrastructure limitations and emerging technologies like Starlink could reshape the competitive landscape. Joining me to unpack this is Nick Mills, co-founder of Community Wealth. Nick, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Kaka.
Well, just to kickstart, from your perspective, how has low-cost fibre and Wi-Fi connectivity helped stimulate economic activity in the market, particularly looking at the e-commerce space?
Sure. So it's beyond just internet access. It's economic development, if you think about it, and it's multifaceted. So for someone to have the ability for R5 a day to access 100 megabyte line uncapped means that they have access to a whole suite of things that they perhaps didn't. A basic example is like a ChatGPT. To interact with that sort of intelligence where cost is not the prohibitive factor anymore is really exciting from an education perspective, perhaps more talking to the youth. More practically, I think for a spaza shop owner to be interacting online on a procurement platform has pricing tension and competition impacts which definitely trickle down in terms of stimulating the local economy within a township specifically.
But with affordability comes risk of security, quality and longevity. What are the implications of affordable connectivity for sustainable economic development in townships?
So specifically talking digitizing, let's say, financial services, there's a huge risk of cybercrime and people that ordinarily aren't used to banking online, as an example, certainly expose themselves to risks. So again, talking to a whole suite of building blocks that need to be put in place, education has to be one of them. If you expose yourself online, you're exposing yourself from every angle, particularly financial.
I'd like us to look at Starlink, which has created an uproar in the media with its approach of aiming to have a share in the South African market, as well as extending its technological reach to underserved communities in South Africa. How might this influence economy and empower entrepreneurs in the market?
Sure. So just to define underserved in the context of connectivity doesn't necessarily correlate to a township, in the sense of underserved could be a rural village in the Eastern Cape, for example, where Starlink could perhaps have an impact there. When you talk the density of a township like Alex, Diepsloot, Kaimandi as an example, Starlink can't quite penetrate that market from a technical perspective. And sure, maybe they do get it right direct to device as an example, but currently a solution like Fibre Time in Stellenbosch, and they're now going national, is a super interesting business for us as Community Wolf to take inspiration from, in terms of building that connectivity in a township. For us to be able to follow their deployment and build on safety tooling and services around that is really exciting.
But Nick, some argue that Starlink will boost healthy competition, and some also argue that, well, they question its authenticity. How will this implicate local existing fibre providers?
Sure. So I think the ISP landscape is super competitive. Again, do we need offshore technology to boost economic growth? I would argue we already have solutions at varying levels of our LSM, and now with businesses again like Fibre Time targeting highly dense townships, I would argue let's rather work with what we've got than seek help from offshore. Exposing ourselves to political volatility and bringing on board a Starlink, to me, doesn't make sense right now, but again, who knows what's coming around the corner.
Well, we hope something will come and also provide some progress in the market. Well, when looking at geopolitics and the business, township businesses are proving to be adaptable when it comes to technology and improving customer care services, some at a slow rate. What will it take to accelerate this?
Again, touching on, I suppose, all the themes we've been talking about, it's just awareness. Again, it's not just internet access. It opens yourself up to a whole world of innovation. Just driving here now on my phone, I'm having a conversation with ChatGPT simulating this discussion. And if you make a younger generation aware of that, it becomes incredibly powerful. There's no longer an excuse for it's all designed in English, as an example. I could have had that conversation coming here in Afrikaans, English, or Zulu. The barriers to interact with intelligence are dropping, and when you connect a community, an underserved community, I think we can bridge many gaps that exist in this country.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We are definitely making progress.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, that was Nick Mills, co-founder of Community Wolf. Until next time, goodbye.